Hi everyone, and this is the last and the final episode of the 32-minute podcast launch event for today. And we have a very elite speaker with us today, and he is a professor. He is head of department at MA Rangoonwala College. He is one of the most inspiring dentists I've ever met in my life, and his name is Dr. Vivek Hegde. Let me allow, uh, I'll request all of you to allow me to invite Dr. Vivek Hegde to our stream right now. Welcome, Doc. Welcome, Doc.
Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My pleasure
So
too.
we already have around 24 people live, and we've just started. We are looking forward to more and more people to join. So till those people join, I would probably start with a brief introduction of Dr. Vivek Hegde, which is not really brief. It's he has a lot of achievements and honors to his credit. So let me start off with introducing Dr. Vivek Hegde. Dr. Vivek Hegde is the Vice Principal and Head of the Department of Endodontics at MA Rangoonwala Dental College. His many achievements include being President of the Society of Oral Laser Applications, that's SOLA, Director of the Indian Board of Endodontics, the President-elect of Indian Endodontics Society, Faculty of University of Vienna, founder of One Dental. Obviously, we all know One Dental. He is the editor of various journals and past vice president of the Indian Academy of Conservative Dentistry and Endodontics, Indian Endodontics Society, and Indian Society of Prosthodontics, Restorative, and Periodontics. Dr. Hegde has been conducting workshops on basic and advanced endodontics for the past decade, as well as specialized workshops on microscope endodontics. He has lectured extensively both nationally and internationally, including at the International Endomasters Platform 2017. He was the country representative at IFEA WC 2018 Seoul, Korea, country speaker at Asia Pacific Endodontic Confederation, that's APEC 2017 New Delhi, APEC representative speaker at the annual session of the American Association of Endodontics 2016, and also the first International Endodontic Congress in Dhaka, Bangladesh 2018, and many more actually. However, above all, Dr. Vivek Hegde is an experienced practitioner, a passionate teacher, and a proud father. Welcome to the show, sir. It's such an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayur. Thank you so
Right.
much.
So, your name is so big. Actually, it did not require an introduction, but I'm sure a lot of young students have joined us. So Dr. Vivek Hegde is one of the most influential dentists in India. He's a wonderful mentor, and believe me or not, he'd not even think twice before coming over to the podcast launch event. So I'm so grateful to you, sir. You really consider me as a part of your family, and I'm so honored to have you on the show. Not many speakers who are at your level do that. Actually, it's such an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayur. Like I said, when you started this, I know the motive behind it. It's a very noble cause. And when you invited me, I said I couldn't say a no, and I'll not say a no too. So it's nice. And like if I can be one of those people who can create sparks in young minds, I'll be more than happy to share my journey of my life for those youngsters to possibly be something for themselves in their lives.
Awesome, sir. So,
Thank you.
for people who do not know, Dr. Vivek Hegde is from Manipal, but he has his practice in Pune. And today's session is going to be focusing largely on inspiring the younger crowd, the younger dentists, people who are still studying, who are interns, or who are just fresh passed out graduates, or even pursuing their post graduation or have finished their post graduation just recently. So we've been through a lot of hard times in the past couple of months. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the dental field. So that's exactly why Dr. Vivek Hegde is here, so that we get pumped up with all our careers once again and get back on track, right, sir?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to an awesome talk. So let me just jump right into the topic. A lot of people have graduated recently, and a lot of postgraduates have also come out. Uh, so I wanted to start off with one basic question in the beginning itself. Everywhere people say that India is now saturated and stuff like that. Do you think going abroad to practice is a great idea, and how do we go about it?
This is a question that will hover around everybody's mind. It did when I was also beginning my career. There's nothing wrong. But like I said in the earlier interview that we had, if there's a place and a time to settle, I think this is a place and this is a time. I want to be very much in our own country because going to a developed country is one thing, a developing another thing. Why don't we be part of this growth? So if you see, India has got huge potential. Like this, the village is becoming a town, town is becoming a city. A poor man is becoming middle class, the middle is becoming higher middle class, and the middle higher middle is becoming richer. So when you're going through this, if you decide to target your audience to which class you want to practice, is it mass or class? Even if you say mass, believe me, India has got a huge population. You still have enough and more for yourself. So I think, okay, I'll put it this way. In our times, like when I passed my master's in 1996, the disparity was too much. The teaching job in India was giving you a salary of 8,000 or 9,000 or maybe 10,000 as a full time teacher. That is for an MDS. For a BDS was about 5 or 6,000 rupees. Full month I'm talking. But same thing if I was going to Kuwait or Dubai or any other country, the salary was close to 100,000. That's 1 lakh of Indian rupees. So 10 times the difference was a huge amount. Plus, if you would have gone abroad to study and work in those countries, like say the European countries or the Australia or America or whichever, North America, any country, I think then you could have settled in a very, very big way. But that difference has actually thinned down now. Today in India, most of the dentists, if you're given a good amount of time for your practice to settle in, I think all of us are doing decently well. So getting that kind of money today, if you go to Middle East, I think a doctor who's worked in India for 10 years will have a good take home provided his other requirements are fulfilled. I agree there's going to be a loan on your head, there's going to be other initial expenses, which all of us have to go through. The only advantage of going abroad, say Middle East, is possibly it is not taxable. The income is all yours. But once you go there, you're not a citizen there. You only can work for a few years, maybe long years, 20 years, then what? 30 years, then what? You need to possibly come back. And then you can't come and start here. So, my advice to all the youngsters is focus, take your time, and then focus. Going abroad is not a bad option, but going to these Middle East countries compared to India is not a good option today. However, if you're getting to go to study in the United States or any other country and going to settle there, it's still going to take 5 years more, 10 years more before you reach there. You may catch up with monetary gains, but believe me, life here also is improving well. We may earn 1/5 or 1/10 of what you earn in the United States. But if you earn more, you pay more taxes also. The same is here. But Mayur, if you ask me, today most of us can afford maids at home full time or a day maids. We can afford drivers, we can afford assistants. I have my friends who are earning much more than what we are earning. Weekend, they have no time. Weekday, they're anyway busy. There's enough money. It is very materialistic, but the emotional factor is very little. If you have to go to your own mom's house or dad's house, you need to place a call. So, are you free, mom, this weekend? Can I see you? I mean, in our homes, we just ring the bell, we walk in. So, there's a lot of things that you have to balance. Both are two different worlds, but only thing I don't want to get you don't get mixed up in this. Don't get mixed up in either of the things. Choose any one, and once you've chosen something, please follow the path.
So true.
20 years before, abroad was a very good option, especially when I was trying maybe. But today, I don't think so, and I'm glad I'm here because you've got a good base, you've registered yourself well. The recognition and the respect, the adulation, the warmth that I get from people around is huge, which I don't think I would have got in any other place.
So true. Right. So there's a very interesting story that Dr. Vivek Hegde had shared with me when I'd done a podcast recording with him a couple of days back. So he was trying for US in 2001, I guess, and that's
Yeah.
when the 9/11 strikes had happened. And he has spoken about this interesting event that actually changed the course of events in his life, and it's actually affecting all of us. So because of the 9/11 attacks, Sir could not go to the United States, and I think all of us, like my followers, my colleagues, and students like me who are still learning from you, should probably thank that possible moment because you could not go to US. That's why you are an asset to us in India today. So I know that's a very bad event, but there's something good also that came out of it, and that is this, good for people like me. That's very interesting. So if you haven't heard that story, I'm talking with the audience. Do check out the podcast that's already there on Apple, Google, and Spotify. So coming on to my next question. So do you think the COVID scenario is going to affect going abroad quite a lot?
Yeah, things are changing all over the world. They're very skeptical about many protocols, rules, regulations. Everything is going to change. Uh, I feel you're a first class citizen in your own country. Why don't you enjoy that privilege and benefits? COVID is a problem, and but I would say this way, Mayur, a problem that is for everybody is not my problem. It's everybody's problem. When it's your problem, you take care of it. That's very important. But COVID is a universal problem, and all of us will go through it. So you don't have to worry on it much. It'll take its own course. Yes, it's affected all our lives in many ways, but fair enough. Just survive this year, sustain this year, hold in there. But you know what, like I told, these times are testing times, but so much big is going to come up with this. Disruption is going to happen. So I want all to be planned to accept the big change, because everybody calls he is lucky, she is lucky. I've been also told Vivek is lucky. Yes, luck is, you know what? Be prepared is what I say. When opportunities meets preparation, be prepared. That's what I meant. Opportunities everybody gets. You can't say you can't get an opportunity. There may be delay, but there's no denial. Let me put it that way. Somebody may get it too early in life, somebody may get it late in life. That's okay. But you'll still get a chance. But if you're prepared, if you're planned, I think this is a time actually that you should really, really be prepared for yourself. I don't know which way you want to plan. I can't possibly guide you on that because that's your dream. But make a dream, make it happen. We all lost the first 10 years. I told you. First 5 or 6 years was only United States. Didn't happen. The bomb dropped. It fell on me. I was shattered in the sense that I don't know what next. I was living by the day. I didn't have enough money then. I made little money. I blew it up for some reason. Again, I lost some money. Then I had to make it up again. Again, so many. The story went on. So the first 8 or 10 years, I'd actually lost. By the time I started deciding, yes, I want something in my life, there's a couple of things that should come into place, right? Things were not falling into place. So, like Mayur has invited me for other episodes. Maybe in those episodes, I'll share some of the other stories. So, all I'd say is don't worry about the COVID times. Start planning. Keep a plan B. Of course, you have to keep a plan B. But try and work what you want the first plan to be. Like in dentistry, another small example, I'm going long, but it's like this. When postgraduate students come to my department, 6 of them come every year. Few years back, there was this girl who came into my department and said, I've been told to join conservative. I said, excuse me, what does that mean? I've been told. Who told? Okay, the management told. Fair enough. After half an hour, she says, sir, I have to leave. I am supposed to go to Prostho. I was shocked. I said, you're making your life. You can take whatever department you want. It's your choice. But you can't change lives in seconds and minutes and by somebody's decision. And there's another boy who entered after that. So all I'm trying to say is be sure, have options in mind, but stick to one good option that what you want to be. That's it. Yeah.
Right, that's going to help a lot of students. So there's a comment by Dr. Suresh who was saying that my audio volume was very less. Can you just confirm now if it's better than before? I just changed my mic. So if I'm fine, I'll continue with my next question. Sir, a lot of graduates are graduating when they're giving their NEET exam. So once they get a good rank, now it's about the choice of what post graduation they should go for. Um, so the basic question over here is, should they go for what they really love to do, although it might have less scope, or should they actually be practical and go for the field that's giving a good amount of returns? What is your take on that? Passion versus practical.
I think, today, if you're passionate, you can still get your life sorted. Money is important, I know, only to a certain extent. Okay, suppose you've taken a non-clinical branch, say oral medicine, where you're doing radiology. You know how big it is? It's huge. People are not understanding the potential of that. We have only talking of CBCT, we only scratch the top. Navigation has come, navigation has come, there's 3D mapping has come. Today I have seen softwares where you can navigate through root canal through a software. It's going to tell me turn right, turn left, go deeper, take this size file, you're getting a blockage, just go this way. If I get a radiologist to guide me that way, that the mesobuccal canal is going to be the most difficult canal, but you know what? I can give you my notes, but this is my fees. I'll be more than happy. It's making my life easy.
Yeah, yeah. So
There are many, many things that come emerging. Who told research doesn't have money? Yesterday, there was a proposal for my college on one of the proposal by one of the companies. GC has put in a proposal of 50,000 Swiss francs for a study. We can all apply. That's a research grant. That is a small grant. So there are researchers who are doing decent good. And then you patent and then you get the product in the market. You know what? You're the king. You'll be a millionaire before anybody would. The clinician will make 100 rupees, 1,000 rupees, and then make 100,000. It takes so much time for him to collect. That's another way to do it, I know. But that's the easiest way. That is possibly risk-free and comfortable zone. If you always take the other way, which is less traveled, I think you will click faster in life. So take that little risk early in life. Okay, you know what? I'll give you another example. This is not dentistry. When I was 25 or 30, if you ask me which car I would buy for a car which looks stylish, which would go fast, which had the maximum rave, I could have a good power and all those things. If you ask me at 35, which one I want? I've started earning, I have a family now, I have to support everybody. I said, forget the speed, forget the looks, I want mileage, I have to sustain. Today, when you're 40, 45 plus, you know what you'll say? Forget the mileage, I can afford the money now for the mileage. If it gives him less miles per hour, per kilometer, per liter, I'm good. But you know what I want today? I want safety. I want a road grip. I want the wheels to actually bite into the road with all the good features of multiple airbags and all that. Forget the looks, forget the mileage, forget the rest. It's just safety for me today. So that's exactly what it is. You have to start planning. It's by age. When you're young, you can take chances and you must take chances. Even in investment, you know what they say? When you're young, go bullish. That's what they say, right? They say go for equity, no balanced portfolio. Take your chances, take your risks. You can still make your money. But when you're a little older, they say now go balanced. And when you're more older, they say, okay, now only debt. No chances on equity, no chance on risk. So this is my tip to you all. I can't advise you take clinical branch, non-clinical branch. It's about your aptitude, what you want to be. If you decide that being a non-clinician also, there are so many non-clinicians who have made it big. Both non-clinically by going to research or also coming to clinics. It's just that, you know what, we don't define ourselves. I want you to define yourselves well. So in India, no, Mayur, the problem is, you know what, I also told in one of the earlier interviews, of course, a very close-knit interview, my friend asked me, what's the problem with Indians, man? So I told him, We are excellent starters. We start things very well. We start 100 things well, not 100. But unfortunately, you know what? Down the line, chalta hai. That attitude. We give up before going there. We are not good finishers. We're very poor finishers. That's the only problem. You see abroad, okay, we'll take the College of Government Dental College, any government dental college. They have 500 patients, 1,000 patients a day. How many research publications come out of that college? You see international colleges, they see 5, 10, 15, 50 and 100 is a big number per day for them. 50 patients, that's a big number. But see their data, see their protocols, see their value-based systems. They can pull out anything and still give you all the systems in place. That's why they get accepted better for publications, for presentations, and everything. And then we blame, we are neither white nor black, we are brown, that's why we are discriminated. Possibly it's a factor, but it's a small factor. Believe me, today a lot of Indians are fighting it. We are coming out of that. We have been recognized. If the IT industry is recognized around the world, why can't we? We have no dearth. Believe me, we have read more books than them. We have got more clinical experience of patients than them.
Yeah.
Then what's stopping us? That's what I want the next generation to do. We have brought it from here till here. From here to scale up, please take it. The young generation has got a huge task. Believe me, sky is the limit. Just take it up, do it.
Right. So, the bottom line over here, what Dr. Vivek Hegde is saying, that if you're passionate about, say, endodontics, so do take it up. Don't think that everybody does root canals now, and who's going to call you for consultation and stuff like that, right, sir? If you have a passion for it, go for it.
True.
Right.
See, if you like your subject, your specialty, like I told you, most of us didn't have a choice. I like 3 branches. I like ortho, I like prostho, I like endo. I got 11th rank in Manipal University when the entrance exam has started. And the best branches were all taken. And I got pedo. Nothing wrong. I actually was about to join pedo, but you know what? I love children, no doubt about it. But I don't think I could have controlled while working. The behavioral management, that's not my cup of tea. So I decided, luckily for me, there was somebody who dropped endo, and that's why I got into endo.
Wow.
And that changed me. And actually, believe me, that was a boost. That day I said, okay, God, I got it. I got a second chance. Like, this is, of course, because that person who left got an all India entrance, and that person moved out. But even if I had got pedo, I would have crafted something around that. I don't know when, where, what, how, I have no clue.
Yeah.
But yes, that's your life. I have had a friend who said, I don't like dentistry, and he's moved out. Fair enough. Move out, do something else. And he's doing something. He's doing some business. Fair enough. He's doing well for himself.
Right.
But I don't like when people are in the profession and then cry. If you're in the profession, fight it out. There's no other second way, please. You have to struggle. Don't be in the profession and cry, please. It doesn't help anybody. I know there is competition, there is some slack, there is some slow pace because of COVID or demonetization or whatever, or competition, excess dentists. Everything is true. But there is a space for everybody. If you can create a niche for yourself, that I told you, like, you have to decide in that area how you want to be different. Make that value added experience for the patient. That's what the patient wants, the user experience I spoke. When you do that, believe me, patients will come to you. That's important.
Right. So we have a question from the audience. Renu, she's asking, should anybody take PG? Like, is it necessary to take up PG? There are examples right in front.
I know. I read that question. I know, Renu, you know what? Not really. It's not like a person who has done PG is a very good clinician and a person who is a general dentist is a poor clinician. It's vice versa also. A degree makes nothing out of it. Yes, it's important today's day. If you have a choice, do it. But when there are 25 to 30,000 BDS seats, there are only 7,000 or 8,000 MDS seats. So there's only about one third to one fourth number of MDS seats. So if you see, the proportions are less. So you may not have a chance. Plus, it also depends on which university you're studying in, which college, which guide. Please follow the guide. Please follow the teachers because they make you. It's very important. Whichever branch, whichever specialty you're in. So doing just general dentistry is good enough too. But then again in general dentistry, please focus on something that you like. Suppose you like endo. Follow some mentors of endo, go deep into that. There are short courses, long courses, and you can possibly do even year-long courses. Do it in India, do it in abroad, have some local gurus, some national ones, some international ones who will actually guide you. I know everybody is busy in their lives because I also get about I don't know how many questions sometimes. It's not possible to answer every day. I try my best, but sometimes the social media is eating up into our private lives. I spend about an hour, 2 hours. Beyond that, I can't. I still try my level best to answer. So, you'll get an answer from everybody, but don't worry. BDS also is enough because with a 1.3 billion population, we are only 300,000 dentists, which is a very small number. The sad part is, the concentration in the urban area is very high compared to the rural area. So there is a big disparity. I know of some of my friends who are actually in the rural place doing phenomenally well. They have no time. Forget all that. You know what? One line and I'll close the statement. If you're a hard worker, if you are passionate and focused, the person opposite to you, maybe a patient or somebody else, can read you. They will follow you, they will want you. So understand this much. For people who are very, very focused and hardworking people, there's no dearth of work in any profession. Forget dentistry. It is so difficult to get anybody who is good in their profession. Today I wanted a plumber for my clinic. This morning, an electrician for something. I'm trying to, because the good ones I'm trying to call, they're saying, sir, aaj busy hu, kal aunga, I'll come another day, whatever. Fair enough, but I want you. So I have to book my time with him. Can you believe it? There are these people who charge 500 rupees as consultation because he says, I've come from a distance, my bike, petrol and whatnot. And then it has started that way in these professions, which are unskilled labors. But he has developed a skill and I want him. I don't mind waiting another day for him because I know when he comes, he is my problem solving man. So I want you to be problem solving. The patient will look for you and come for you. Have a system of, we'll come to that a little later, of how you can possibly charge well. It's important also. You don't need to suffer about it. But even if you're a general dentist and if you start focusing, like see, I'll tell you what, I don't like, I said, pedo, I don't do much. So I don't get into that. I've never done extractions for a long time, even if it's a mobile tooth. I do microsurgeries, so I know everything about extraction. But still, I'll keep it for another person. That's the reason, because I know that's the specialty work we do. Even if it's dangling, I can pull it out in no time. I can suture it. I know everything. If I can open the apical third of a molar, resect it and put a bioceramic material and obturate with a microsurgery under a microscope, a mobile tooth is nothing for me. Right? I still respect. I tell no, it's not my job. It's another consultant specialist coming in. They will do it. And my patients understand that. Because I have focused myself into a specialty-based practice. I am a conservative dentist and an endodontist. When I said that, my first job is what? Conservative dentist. I don't do as many root canals. Believe me, I do more of fillings, less of root canals. Because I want a tooth a second chance to live. I want to postpone things. So hopefully, I will answer the next question when Mayur asks why I said this about conservative dentists.
Right. So I'd probably want to give a couple of examples over here. If you know of these people, put it in the comments. If you know anybody that I'm going to be taking names of right now. So if you know the person, put that person's name in the comments. Do you know this doctor called Dr. Varsha Rao? Do you know this doctor called Dr. Komal Mazumdar? Do you know this doctor called Dr. Leena Rawal? right? And I think, do you know this person called Dr. Aslam Inamdar? If I'm not wrong, even he is a BDS. Forget about that. Do you know a person called as Mayur Davda? So all these
Yes.
people are very well known for whatever they are doing, and they are passionate about it, and they are not postgraduates, they are just BDS. So a degree is not going to define you, believe me. I have seen in my own clinic that a postgraduate could have screwed up a particular case, but I could have done it better, much better. So a degree is not going to define your life. And in fact, I have seen patients who are saying that they're comfortable with me more than the consultant who's going to come. So it does not depend upon the degree of any person. It depends upon your patient experience. Like the way sir is saying, give it to your patient what they deserve, and they are going to come running back to you. That's the most important thing that Dr. Vivek Hegde is trying to tell us. So let me come on to the next question. Since we are talking about post graduation, let me take this up right away. A lot of postgraduate students are going to come out now. They have come out. So, what is your suggestion to them? How do they go about starting their practice or their consultation? I know I'm taking you a bit off topic because we've
Yeah.
already built a lot of momentum. But since we are talking about this, I think it's a good time to ask, what should they do next? How do they go about consultations?
It's a very good question. Take your time. This is for young consultant specialists. I don't want you all to jump because you get the first case. Know the reputation of the clinic, know the number of cases they can have. Money is important, but you know what? Money will follow. Do good work. Just because you want the little extra money, don't do wrong dentistry. By saying that, you know what I mean? Try and plan yourself in such a that when you call yourself a consultant, initially I know there are various ways of working. There will be a doctor telling you, okay, I'll give you a fixed charges, monthly this much salary. There will be a doctor saying, I'll give you a percentage, say 60/40. There'll be a doctor telling, okay, you get all your materials, you will take 70, I'll give you, I get 30. There may be a hospital telling just very right opposite. You may get 40% plus taxes will be cut after that. There are hospitals giving 25%. Everything is okay, it's your personal choice. All I'd say is to start. I know you can't be choosers so much because initially we are all beginning a career. I did the same. I've gone to clinics without my kit. I didn't have one. I didn't have a mindset. Nobody spoke to me. I went to those clinics. I've been given files. I've been given instruments where there was a 10 number file. There wouldn't be a 15 number file and then straight away 20 or 25 and then no 30 and 35. I don't know what all conditions I have worked in. These are not right conditions. There are cases where I didn't have a radiograph. Can you believe it? In the city of Pune, outskirts of Pune, where I had to go as a consultant, but I needed work. So I've taken those work. I've spoken to those, but you know what? I didn't go with them for long. It's just the initial, maybe a few cases. Then I realized, no, you know what? This is not going to work for me. It's spoiling my work, my reputation, whatnot. So slowly you'll start realizing for yourself, I want you all to test the waters first. Because once you take up a clinic, it is not easy to leave the clinic. Because endo is not one time every time. There are 2 visit jobs, retreatments, sometimes follow-ups. Couple of things can happen. So in such cases, or sometimes there are days you will give and there's only one case on that day, you still have to travel that distance for that case. So I want you all to make your plan very well. Think for yourself, plan yourself, start slowly. There's nothing to be in a hurry. Give it a good 3 years, like what I said. 1,000 working days are very good to analyze for yourself. Test the waters, you know where you are, and by then you'll tell, okay, fine, it's working for me now. These are the few clinics I want to keep. I always want to go to a clinic which makes me feel like they are mine. Like how Mayur said, thank you for making me a part of my family. I want everybody to feel ours. When I went to any clinic, I felt it is mine, though it's not mine. That's when you'll start giving yourselves. It's like this, one small example here. Recently it happened, few years back, that is, a good high-flying society patient, a well-to-do. They could afford to have private aircrafts in the hangar in Pune. They're so rich, okay? They come to me, one of the ladies come to me, and she went on, throwing her problems on me, saying that my life is this, I've got this problem, that problem. Fair enough. I listened to her once, twice, thrice, like third visit, fourth visit. I was getting disturbed on my work. You know what I told her then? Madam or miss, you know what? She's Mrs. actually. Your work, your problem, I can understand. I'm sympathetic, I'm there with you. But the problem is, you know what? If you keep me in a good mood, I can get the best out of me. If you disturb me, if I get mentally upset or uneasy, you'll not get the best out of me. Dentistry is not being mechanics. If I feel like I'm passionate about doing something, I'll get the best creativity out of me. So that's what I mean. When you go, and from that day, believe me, she was quiet, silent, no more complaints. And she still came to me for the next 2 or 3 visits. I'm not a punching bag to take every time. I'm ready to help everybody. I can understand people's problem. Like I said in the interview, we have to be empathetic, not sympathetic. I want to be with people. So the same thing, when you go for the clinic, make it like yours. Choose the best clinics. See where you can get more work, good work, more than more work. Money, I told you, you know what? If the dentist believes in you. Today, I had started root canals at 600 rupees, of which I got 60%, which was 360 rupees in the year 1997-98. 20 years down the line, today we are charging 18,000 or 20,000 or 25,000 rupees for an average root canal. And we're still commanding that respect. It's not the money, don't get me wrong. Like I said, today, those dentists are referring me those cases. So how we have jumped that much? That's only possible because you have to get them into your confidence. If the doctor knows that yes, Dr. Hegde can bail me out, help me out, or we can work as a team collectively. If my patient can come back to me after Dr. Hegde's work, which I see that they go back, I send my emails, I send my pictures, I send the report, I see that the clinic calls them and tell, okay, we have done the root canal, we've also done the post-space preparation. Now all you need to do is just a core built up and the crown maybe, or any other restorations. So that's about mutual respect. And it's possible, So I want you all to understand, to try and develop and cultivate that particular habit. That's the mutual respect that I would say.
Right, sir. So we have a particular question. So Surya had commented long back. Sir, I'm doing my OMRDG. I want to just practice my specialty. Is that possible in India?
Of course. We just spoke about OMRD. Radiology is going so big. How many of you have dental laboratories? So many blood tests, biopsies and all can be done by being a specialist. I would want to refer to somebody who is a dental specialist, not a medical specialist. But we don't have any. We are going to the medical pathology labs. Why can't you all focus on that? You go and meet, like there are 3,000 dentists in Pune. You come and here, suppose, and tell, okay, I am setting up this lab with the class, with what you want on a daily reporting systems. There's a pickup, there's a drop. If out of the 3,000, even 100 doctors support you, because we do a lot of blood tests for all our routine extractions, implant placements and all the rest. I don't do any of that, but my team does it. For a microsurgery, I'll ask for this. Suppose there's a biopsy to be done or any other tests. Why can't you go into that? Precancerous test like a brush biopsy or any other things. There are sometimes, I wouldn't know what an oral lesion is. I will tell, okay, you know what? There are some friends of mine. Why don't you go there? You can focus deep into these. That is about oral medicine. Take about radiology. We spoke about it. You can get into planning of these things in a deeper way, in a better way. I know it's expensive for making a stent guided therapy, but it's coming in cheaper because 3D printers are almost hardly any cost nowadays. So that's what I mean to say. Start planning. If it doesn't work, you've lost nothing, right? But if you didn't plan, you can't even reach anywhere. So please give it a thought for that particular person or anybody who is doing OMDR. I want you all to focus on that, please. It's really a different world that's coming in. with the augmented reality, the artificial intelligence. Okay, you said your OMDR. I'll give you another example. If you start collecting a lot of CBCTs and OPGs, common findings start. What is Dr. Watson? IBM has a computer called Dr. Watson, which has got 10,000 or 1 million or 10 million, I'm not too sure now, case studies. Today, if I put this question to Dr. Watson, I have cough, I have cold, I have these symptoms, can you advise me? It will give me a report telling that, yeah, these are the probable things. Please get me a blood test and this and whatever it is. In New York, there's pain clinics. Pain clinics, there are no doctors. You go in there, thermal scanners, it'll take a surface skin, blood, you give a report, the computer will give a printout, you pass it to Dr. Watson, he'll give you the treatment plan. Why do you need a doctor? Especially a medical doctor like a general physician. So what I mean to say is, suppose you collected a lot of data on these things, findings. Tomorrow the augmented reality is going to help me. I will post a case saying that I can see a huge lesion. Is it an osteomyelitis or can it be anything else? I'm not too sure. Can you help me? If there is some software that's helping me, why wouldn't I take it even if I have to pay some money for it? You know, that's the way we have to head forward. So start focusing. There's a huge potential. And for you, you know what? You have another good job, my friend. There are a couple of people doing this. As oral radiologists, they are tied up with so many centers around the world. Like how people do medical transcriptions. You can do a 25% costing for reporting reports of CBCT. So many centers need help. So you have a good profession. And I think, you know, how many CB centers? Pune has got more than 22. With colleges, it's 25. A small city like Pune, which has got 60 lakhs or 70 lakhs population, a 6 million population, has 25 CBCT centers. Don't we need help of you? You come in, I'll place you for some positions for some reporting. If the charge is 2,500 rupees and you're getting 25%, you're taking home a good 1,000 rupees, man, at least. Isn't that good enough to start? If you report 10 cases, you're doing better than me and Mayur. Yours is everything is take home. So think different. That's all I mean. Think different.
Right. So, Dr. Bhavika, who's joined us from YouTube, is asking us the next question. But before I take up this question, we are entering into the final 5 or 7 minutes of our episode right now. So, a request to the audience: if you have any questions, just put it across on the comments as soon as possible, so Dr. Vivek can go through them. So, this question is by Bhavika Gupta. In postgraduate in USA AGD, comparable or better than MDS, what should she do?
Mayur, I couldn't hear this question correctly. Can I get this back, please?
Yeah. Is post graduation in USA comparable or better than MDS? She's talking about AGD.
See, again, it depends. Got it. It's any country. If you're focused to settle in the country, do that. Going to United States and coming back to India, I don't think, I mean, of course, the quality, the standards, the cutting edge technology, I'm sure they're better than us because they have settled early in life. They're 20 years ahead of us in many ways. But the point is, if you spend that kind of money to go to the US, coming to India, and then settling here, you're still a sort of BDS with respect to, I'm thinking that you're doing BDS in India and then going to the US, okay? Then you're still a BDS in India with respect to jobs and placements. For your own practice, yes, why not? If you have the money, the passion to follow, don't bother, go there and come back. But if you're going to the United States to study, try and do a DDS there, get the license and plan and settle there. Unless your family wants you to come back, then it's a different story altogether. I would wish that if you've done that kind of study there, you better be there, because then the placement is altogether a different game. But there's nothing wrong going for courses to study there and coming here. But if you ask me, are they comparable? It's like comparing apple and orange, okay? They're two different things. Indian degree won't be recognized there. Their degree is not recognized in India. I have some friends who have come from the United States. They're excellent clinicians. They try and project their position, that what they've got from the United States. But still what helps them is that they are good human beings. good clinicians, good general dentists. They can call themselves a specialist for general practice, but they don't have a teaching job, an assignment. That's what it is.
Right. So, well said. So there are two people asking the same question. I'm just going to put it across quite quickly. That's Dr. Anshuma Gupta. How to get in research after BDS?
Okay.
And the
Getting into
same question
research
is
is again
also
like
asked
this.
by Renu.
All right.
These people have asked the same question.
See, generally, research is done with a different aptitude altogether. In undergraduate, unfortunately, we've not taught you that way because you're more into question answers and passing your exams and all that. You don't have something known as a problem-based approach. So you don't know how to make an aims and objective for a study and script write the whole thing till conclusion. But still, if you are interested, see who is around you, who's a good researcher, spend some time with them, ask them if you can be a co-researcher. Co-researcher is one who helps them in the research, which means you can be a physical person to do some studies, and because your knowledge with respect to literature search, script writing, there's a way to write literature, all those may not be sufficient, but you can learn it. And if you're interested in doing a PhD, then that is another game altogether. But as a BDS, I think you won't be allowed to do it immediately. You have to be 10 years post BDS. Of course, different universities have different rules. See which university you want to follow. You can do a PhD, even being a BDS, but after 10 or 15 years after your BDS, provided if you are a good teacher, if you have an attachment with the college, you can still do it. But simplest and the fastest is join somebody, try and be a co-researcher. If somebody absorbs you, if I know that you can dedicate yourself, your time, and because it's not about being in that place. I don't need to be you to be in Pune. We have multi-centric studies. The same study can be done in 10 different places. Again, when you talk of research, one small point, I know you're BDS, maybe this is too much for you, but understand one thing, unfortunately, in dental, even in medicine, a lot of research are in vitro. In vitro is outside the mouth, extracted tooth example. You have to have in vivo, in vivo. In vivo is inside the mouth. They're called clinical studies. So what studies we are doing outside in vitro are bench top studies or tabletop studies. I may put a material like a composite, I may take a strength study or a leakage study, just an example, okay? But that is not simulating to my oral condition. So 70% of the times, what studies you read, you're trying to correlate to clinical conditions, and it is not easy to do a clinical study. You know why? There are so many regulations and rules that you need to follow. Ethical clearance is a very important thing. You can get it, but you know what? That extracted tooth study, the benchtop study will next go to an animal study. From animal study, it goes into human studies. The human study is called clinical trial, and clinical trial is one of the best study you can ever do. So this is just an overview I gave you because I also teach. It's not easy, but around the world, I told you about 70% of the studies that get published are benchtop studies which are not relating to the oral conditions or simulating to the intra environment. So that's a big problem that we are all facing now. Soon something may change, let's see, hopefully.
Right, sir. Moving on to the next question. Since we are talking about publications, how to get published in a good journal. It's asked by Trupti, who's joined us from YouTube.
See, this is also a good question. Publishing a good journal, it's an art, of course. It's not like how good you know English and how well you can write it. It's not that way. First, read the journal that you want to follow in. They have their own rules and regulations and guidelines. You can publish in any journal, but the point is, most of our studies do not get accepted only because the day you write a protocol, that day you realize if a study will get accepted or not. Because going into an index journal, more than indexed, it's an impact fact journal. The international well-recognized journals is not easy. Not because it's you or me, it's because Sometimes the study has already been done that way, or it's not been done with good protocols, with good standards. There are a lot of loopholes, or the interpretation itself is wrong. So more than writing a journal, writing, what you can employ many people. There are agencies which will write for you. You can pay them some money. They will write for you to that particular journal. Construct your study well. That is important. The day you have an idea, you have to throw that idea to the group of people that you want to work with. And then you start constructing it. It'll take a time. It'll take some time for you to say ifs and buts, pros and cons, yes and a no. Everything will happen. And then you have to tell, okay, this is the time I'm going to give for the study. Lot of studies, there's one group of material, something has changed, and it's the same study which has been done before. You can't take a study from, say, called a journal called whichever journal it is, which has been already published. A lot of them we say it's a key article from a good journal we have taken. It doesn't work that way. It's already been published. What are you trying to do? You don't need rocket science ideas. You want simple ideas sometimes, which can make it big. Think a little different. Start reading what studies have not been conducted, and then you can, actually rock it that way.
Right, sir. So there are three off-topic questions, but this is the most related one. Sir, is it good to start a specialty-based practice in India after PG?
Of course. Depending on what specialty you're talking, if you're doing a specialty-based practice, try and be in an upmarket area. When I say upmarket, need not be MG Road of a college of a city. Start with the growing outskirts where there are townships happening. Specialty base is definitely the way. I believe in it a lot. But you know what? I had planned myself that I want to be in that main area one day. 20 years when I look back, I said 98, 97, 96, no sorry, 97, 98, I was a consultant. And today I have my own practice, but it's 20 years after I'm talking. And today I have a decent good setup in the heart of the city. 20 years before it was just a dream. One day, that is my dream, one day I want to be in this place. That's it. So you should, why not? But then no point starting a specialty based practice in a rural setup. You will cry, you will suffer, because you'll go deep into that. You'll spend a lot of money, like it's endo. You'll buy microscopes, you'll buy down 3D obturation devices, you'll buy a lot of new things, and then you start suffering. So just balance that. That's very, very important. You have to make a game plan for yourself. Where do you want to settle? How do you want to settle? Do a little market survey, and that's how you can. Everybody does that, right? To start a business, they do that. They do a market research. So please survey the place that you want to be in. If there's any help that you need, please try and connect to me. I will possibly try and help you on a personal level, whatever best I can. But there's nothing wrong trying. And don't be worried of failures. That's the bigger problem, One important point, Mayur, before I close here in this, you know what? We're all worried of failures. Why don't you want to be the goalkeeper? I don't mind being the goalkeeper. 100 goals that I've saved, nobody will remember. That one goal that I miss is all what people will talk about. I don't mind, believe me, I don't mind taking that chance and risk even today. I have failed 100,000 times. I'm telling you, many times I can name. When I talk with Mayur about my things, I will tell you all what it is. Because maybe there are 100 reasons. Always I used to ask, why me? But the point is, what? I was not mature enough. I didn't know. And today when I look back, I laugh at myself. Without a plan, without study, without preparing myself, I've set out to do something just because I believed in myself. But are the situation, the surroundings ready for you? So when you start your practice, be that one goalkeeper, lose the goal, so what? Don't worry. There are 100 more fields that you can play on. But still be the goalkeeper. I'm telling you, not the other 10 players.
Right. So we have a question from YouTube again. Kamala is saying, what is the role of artificial intelligence or virtual reality in conservative dentistry? Is it upcoming? Is it going to be big in the forthcoming years?
Yes. We're already working on something called a dynamic navigation. I've done a couple of cases. Lots of things are coming in. You know what? Artificial intelligence is taken over us. I mean, I was reading an article or a presentation by Elon Musk. 2017 summit he spoke. It is dangerous. It's nice to say, okay, on social media, we're giving a thumbs up, we're talking to people, we are about all those things. But believe me, there are a group of engineers who are tabulating you, who are marking you. They know your behavioral habits. That is AI. That is AR. It will tell you what you're doing next. Do you want that? If the computer or that is going to govern you, tomorrow robotics are going to come in, if they're going to catch your throat, you won't be able to survive for yourself. So don't be so hyper or enthusiastic about it. It's dangerous too. But yes, for the right cause, if we use AI, yes. You know what? Dynamic navigation, I'll just say a little bit. Dr. Sanjay Jain, my friend, has bought the unit. He's the first in India to buy the unit. He bought it to my clinic. We did some cases in endodontics. It was very popular in implant dentistry. When I go in through a calcification or a fiber post removal or a microsurgery, it is actually telling me. It's like how the Uber car works. Uber car knows, the driver knows where you are, you know where they are. That's based on satellite connections. This is exactly how it works. You need a CBCT, it'll give you a 3D mapping, you render it there, you take the traces, connect them together, and when you're working, when your drill is going, it'll exactly show you on a 3D view, dynamic, virtual, exactly where you're going. So for a beginner, won't it be easy? It'll exactly tell you how to go. Yes, there's still so much more to come. They're still in the initial generations, and it costs money. So for us, for beginners, if you're still not made your money, I think work on that first. If you're not made your money, don't jump into the few big things. Fundamentals, basics, very important. But aim at the stars. One day I want to have the navigation. One day I want to have AI in my clinic. Why not? So many things are going to happen for us. You believe me. The things are going to change phenomenally, and I think I want to wait for those days. I want to work that long. That's what I'm looking at.
Right,
Yeah, Mayur.
So there are a lot of other questions, but this question was repeated again. So he's asking, sir, is it good for a specialty doctor to speak and promote a product for a particular brand, your personal views, pros and cons?
Ideally, if you ask me, I am myself a speaker. Follow a good product. There's no point pushing. You know what I did when I spoke for good companies? Morning, I'm going to speak on endodontics. It will not be a company-based program. But post-lunch, there's going to be something called hands-on, where X amount of people will pay money and come to you. So all I'm telling you is, you have paid the money to take a hands-on. I've been paid money to teach hands-on. I would say this way, there are a lot of files in the market. Every endodontic file will work. However, this is also a good file that will work. Let's use this file and see how we can do a root canal this way. That's it. Choice is yours. Why can't you read between the lines? If you're a smart person, you know who is selling. It's on your hand to buy or not. But I think a good product should be respected. If you ask me, there are so many good products in the market which needs to get its recognition and respect. If you're a good person, I wouldn't think twice to say so-and-so is a good person. When I started this program, I said Mayur is doing a very noble cause. Selflessly he's doing. He's not a mad person to have spent the whole Saturday without earning anything in the clinical practice. Not only today, last full week and so many weeks after this. Why is he doing it? There should be something in him, right? He wants to give something to the society. That's why he's doing it, right? So I believed in that. I said, okay, Mayur, I'm there with you. Come, we'll go any length. I feel the same. If I've got the 24 hours in that, if I can give 30 minutes to Mayur or 1 hour to Mayur once a week, why not? Like they say, charity begins at home. Let us start with our own specialty. That's home for me. Charity is not always giving money. Charity is giving what I've learned in my life. Money we will give. When I get older, I'll definitely give a lot of money. I want to do it also. I made up my mind. But today, what I can give comfortably is, you have to stabilize yourself before charity. a good statement I got from a very, very well-known person of the Pune city. He told, charity you will do when you have finished your loans. I have not finished yet. I'm still paying a lot of loans. When you have supported your family well, when your children are settled, that's when you start charity. You will start charity before that. You will start begging before others. I don't want that for anybody, including me. So let's be clear about it. This is why we should do. So talking about a company is okay, but marketing it wrongly, pushing it wrongly is not right. Because the product needs to get its recognition. Anybody can help any company. I know hundreds of speakers, but it all depends. What do you see? It's like this, when somebody speaks, I spoke in my my interview with Mayur. What I told him was same thing, when you meet somebody, there's something that that person knows that you don't, right? Learn that, that's all. Forget the rest. Let it go otherwise. Yeah, Mayur.
Right, sir. Right, so we have a lot of questions, but I think time wouldn't do justice. We are already shooting a lot ahead of time. We are already 1 hour
Yes.
and 2 minutes. So I think we'll take up questions next time. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that you spent so much time with us. Yes, sir.
Right, Mayur, that's good. So you know what? These questions, maybe you said you wanted one more or another two more episodes. Bring them
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
We'll help the community at large.
yeah.
We'll just try and
Sure.
help them. Definitely help them.
Right. So a lot of questions that were unanswered by Dr. Sharan Prakash. Then there's Dr. Urvashi. There is Dr. Aditya, who's watching us from YouTube. So what we're going to do is we're going to be collecting all these questions, and I'll make sure that I'll ask it to Dr. Vivek Hegde in our forthcoming podcast episodes. But they wouldn't be a live episodes; they'll be recorded episodes, which will go on Apple, Google, Spotify, as well as other apps. So for now, I think I should really thank Dr. Vivek Hegde for spending with us so much time. In fact, we had planned for around a 32-minute talk, but we have overshot it quite a lot. I'm really sorry for that. But thank you so much once again for joining us. It was a real pleasure to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you. This is for you, Mayur. Cheers.
Cheers, sir.
I
Cheers.
want you on the
Cheers.
screen. Thank you, Mayur.
Cheers, sir.
This is the
Cheers.
gift I got from Mayur few days back.
Small.
Thank you so much, Mayur.
Thank you,
Best
sir.
of luck for you.
Thank you.
You've been a very good initiative. Continue the good work. God bless.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Looking forward to amazing sessions ahead. I'm going to be speaking to a lot of dentists who are going to be inspiring, just like you, to all the students, UGs, PGs, and even the dental practitioners. That's the end of today's episode and today's first day of the podcast launch. It's such an honor to have you in the show and be a part of the 32-minute podcast. Thank you so much to all the listeners who've been so patient throughout the session. But I'll be seeing you again tomorrow morning. Thank you so much, Vivek sir. It was awesome to have you on the show. There are a lot of comments coming in. It was an excellent session. That it was a great initiative. But I think we need to stop for today because you've been really awesome and we've overshot the time quite a lot. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank
Bye.
you.